Welcome to Behind the Crime, where true crime meets real life. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Let's uncover the truth, one case at a time. Now let's see today's story. Terror on the tarmac. The shocking arrest of a Delta co-pilot in San Francisco. Passengers aboard Delta Flight 2809 from Minneapolis to San Francisco thought they were moments away from a routine landing. As the jet taxied toward the gate at San Francisco International Airport, San Francisco Airport, on a calm Saturday night, no one could have imagined what would unfold next. Suddenly, the cabin doors opened, not for disembarkation but for a takedown. 7 federal agents and sheriff's deputies pushed their way through startled passengers, stormed the cockpit, and placed the co-pilot in handcuffs, right there in front of everyone. Murmurs turned into gasps. Something was very wrong. And that was just the beginning. It was Saturday evening, July 27th, and Delta Airlines Flight 2809 had just landed after a cross-country flight from Minneapolis to San Francisco. The plane, a Boeing 757-300, rolled up to the gate just before 9:35 p.m., giving passengers the usual sense of relief after a long journey. But for federal agents and detectives with the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office, the timing was everything. They had one target on board, Rustom Bhagwagar, a 34-year-old co-pilot from Florida. What passengers didn't know was that this flight had become the centerpiece of a much darker story. One that began months earlier with a tip about horrific crimes far away from the skies. Rustom Bhagwagar had earned the trust of Delta Airlines and the confidence of the flying public. But behind the uniform, investigators say, lurked a secret that unraveled this summer in stunning fashion. The investigation began in April, when the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office received a troubling report, allegations of child sexual abuse involving a victim under 10 years old. Sheriff's detectives quietly opened a case. What they discovered was disturbing, and led them directly to the sky. Working closely with Homeland Security Investigations (HSI), detectives tracked Bhagwagar's work schedule and flight routes. When they learned he'd be co-piloting a flight into San Francisco that weekend, they acted swiftly. Among the many passengers on that fateful flight was Sarah, who later emailed CBS News Bay Area to describe what she witnessed. "We had just arrived at the gate," she wrote. "People were standing up in the aisle, grabbing their bags from the overhead bins when suddenly, boom, these 7 people pushed through, stormed the cockpit, and arrest the co-pilot right in front of us." While the plane flew 35,000 feet above the country, a much darker reality played out on the ground. Bhagwagar had been under investigation for 5 counts of sexual assault involving a child under the age of 10. Investigators were careful, deliberate. They didn't want to risk tipping him off. So, they waited until he was in a controlled environment, on the ground, in uniform, unaware. As passengers grabbed their belongings and flight attendants prepared for routine arrival announcements, agents, armed with warrants and serious charges, made their move. The moment they entered the plane, all illusions of normalcy vanished. They stormed in from the door between first class and coach, Sarah recalled. No one had any idea what was going on. People froze. The flight crew looked completely stunned. Federal agents didn't just arrest Bhagwagar. They returned moments later to the cockpit and retrieved his luggage and personal items. There was no dramatic chase. No shouting. Just stunned silence and disbelief. Sarah described the atmosphere as unsettling, tense, and very surreal. What was once a regular red-eye flight had become the scene of a high-profile federal arrest. Bhagwagar was removed from the cockpit in handcuffs, led down the aisle past shocked passengers and escorted off the plane. He was taken directly to the Martinez detention facility and booked on charges that carry a $5 million bail. The federal and local law enforcement agencies had succeeded in coordinating a textbook arrest. Calculated, quiet, and precise. Back in the terminal, the news began to spread like wildfire. Who was this man? How could this happen? Delta Airlines, facing the fallout of having one of its co-pilots charged with heinous crimes, responded quickly. "Delta has zero tolerance for unlawful conduct and will fully cooperate with law enforcement," a spokesperson said. "We are appalled by reports of the charges. The individual in question has been suspended pending an investigation." The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that HSI agents had helped provide secure access to the aircraft and coordinated with the sheriff's office to execute the arrest safely and discreetly. Rustom Bhagwagar now faces 5 felony charges related to the sexual assault of a child under 10. Authorities have not released additional details about the victim to protect their privacy. He remains in custody at the Martinez detention facility, and the case has been referred to the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office for prosecution. The public is being asked for help. If you have any information related to this case, contact the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Investigation Division at 925-313-2600, or submit anonymous tips via email at tips@so.county.us or call 866-846-3592. This isn't just a shocking true crime, it's a reminder of how quickly trust can be broken, and how carefully predators can hide behind prestige, position, and a polished exterior. A uniform doesn't make someone safe. A title doesn't make someone innocent. But the pursuit of justice, no matter how high it has to go, is still flying strong.